shall we start with the Facebook news? Bam.
Yeah.
Facebook is now Meta. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, quite literally. So Facebook held Facebook Connect this week, which is basically like a conference for everything Facebook. And at the event, they announced the rumored rename of their parent company. Like people keep thinking that Facebook, the website, is going to be renamed. That's like not happening.
Yeah.
It's similar to what Google did a few years ago. Google is publicly listed as Alphabet, not as Google. Their parent company is called Alphabet, and that's kind of what's happened here.
Amazing.
So the new name is Meta, as Facebook keeps pushing towards a metaverse-powered future, which is both cool and dystopian at the same time. The idea of a metaverse is fascinating to me, but at the same time, the idea that it's being pushed forward by Facebook is terrifying. So
By Lord and Savior, Lizard Man, Mark Zuckerberg.
My goodness, yeah.
Ice juice connoisseur.
If you don't know what a metaverse, I don't fully grasp because a metaverse can be different to so many different companies, but the idea is a separate not a consciousness, but it's sort of like the Matrix, you know what I mean? It's like a space where people can communicate virtually, outside of the real world. But even then, you start thinking, like, some companies take the idea of the metaverse as like, let us combine all the properties we own into one thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But part of that announcement is that Facebook is working on a new Oculus headset. What just happened? I just lost all the news. Oh, there we go. They're working on a new Oculus headset. Funnily enough, it won't be part of the Quest lineup. They say that this one is cutting edge in a way. So it will be tethered, which I find fascinating because, like, Facebook basically gutted all of its tethered VR headsets. So for them to go back to that must mean that this thing really cannot run port. Like, it must have some cool shit in there.
Yeah.
And the idea is to combine sort of like AR and VR experiences into this headset and have I think it's going to be a far more like boutique kind of product, sort of like what Apple is doing with VR. So expensive as well. So yeah, they're only talking about that next year, but by next year, the name Oculus will be pretty much gone. They say they are rebranding the Oculus line with their new name Meta. So things like the Oculus Quest will be renamed to the Meta Quest. The Oculus app will be named the Meta Quest app. So stuff like that. As part of this, I guess one of the positives out of this is that Facebook now says that you will no longer need a Facebook account to log into these platforms. Previously, they said that by 2023, I think that you will need a Facebook account, but they've kind of backtracked on that. And I guess part of the reason is like they don't want everything to essentially coalesce down to the Facebook website. They want Meta to be beyond that.
Its own thing,
yeah. So that's kind of cool because, like, having everything tied to your Facebook account, which could be banned at any point, or, you know, like if I had to deactivate my Facebook account today, I'd lose all my purchases on my Oculus Quest, which is
ridiculous.
Absurd. Like, so.
But you've got an Oculus Quest, right?
I do. I have the first version.
It's a collector's item now.
Yeah. I mean, soon there'll be nothing Oculus anymore. I am a bit sad though because, like, Resident Evil 4 VR came out, but it's only on Quest 2, and that's like a huge bummer.
I know.
You know, so I was hoping that there would be a new Quest announced and I could, you know, upgrade, but it doesn't seem like a new Quest is coming for a while, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean,
we'll see.
People can hate Facebook all they want, but the Oculus Quest is miles ahead of every other VR competitor. Like, it just really is no other product on the market that comes close to being that good for that price, for that level of VR. And yeah, that's why I'm consistently excited about new VR stuff from Meta or Facebook or Meta or whatever you want to call them now.
Meta. You just said it.
Meta, yeah, exactly.
There's actually, if we were bouncing off to something else. There's actually news that we forgot to put in our roundup. I'm just going to slot it in here as the
Mm.
state of play. For
Oh no, but
only
that's fine because it was very boring.
only yeah, I'm only putting it in here to so we can talk about this little game here. Oh wait, this is not the
Little
trailer.
devil
Damn it,
inside.
where's little devil inside? Oh, let me just scroll down here. So I mean,
I think
there's
it's probably at the bottom.
there's some cool stuff here, but it was for all intents and purposes a pretty like
It was a strange state of play. Like it was one of those that like didn't need to be a state of play. It could have been individual
it
announcements for
just
these games or
yeah
whatever. Like it just felt strange.
yeah
I also am confused that Little Devil Inside was the highlight of the state of play, but still doesn't have a release date. Like
yeah
I think I've said before, but this game was kickstarted in 2015. It's been
a
years.
long
Like,
time. Well,
so
game is looking real good though.
it is. It is. Like it still looks intriguing and interesting. And what I like is that the art style that they pitched back then hasn't really changed.
Yeah, if you we went back and looked at some of the 2015 footage, and yeah, it looks it's very similar still.
I mean,
but
that's
that
what grabbed me initially was just this art style, very stylized and very
yeah, I
cute.
love this. It's like top down view of the train, everything. The
Uh,
whole what's the effect where it's like everything on the outer edges is blurred. It just looks
it's
really
like a
nice.
bokeh effect.
Bokeh,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. So
No,
yeah.
it's got a very good distinct visual style to it and a good vibe to it. So,
Mm,
I'm consistently excited by this game. I just kind of wish I knew when it was coming
mm.
because I
Did,
mean, I backed this game 6 years ago. I've been waiting.
did they not say 2022, or did I imagine? No, is it just nothing?
No release year, no window, nothing. So
Crazy. Okay.
yeah,
Well, I
really,
just wanted
really
to,
like again, like why make a state of play headline by this if you
yeah,
have you
nothing.
have footage to share, but
Yeah.
like yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
But
I
anyways,
like this guy's little scarf. It looks really good.
I just wanted to slot this in here because this does look really
Yeah.
good. But yeah, state of play as a whole.
It was it was a lot of updates for smaller games. There was a new Star Ocean announced, which some people are very excited about, but I still think that's a very niche
Yeah.
RPG. So yeah, I think the other big news there was that Devil's Door,
That's
Death's
coming
Door, sorry,
to
Devil's Door, is coming out on PlayStation very soon. So that's cool because that's still one of the best games of the
I know
year.
this
Uh,
cropped so badly, but yeah, that's
Fantastic
coming.
game. I don't think there was really anything else. They didn't update games
Yeah.
like Stray or
Nope. I mean, yeah,
no. Everyone was hoping for Final Fantasy, and boy, did
nothing.
they get disappointed by that.
Nope.
So
But yeah.
really disappointing state of play.
Yeah, but
And disappointing because all the others that Sony has hosted have been pretty
really
much
good. Yeah.
10 out of 10 bangers. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But let's bounce to let's fly through all your free games this month. Sorry, this site cropped so badly on the news feed. But
So
your
this
PS,
is
PS Plus games for
PS Plus games, yeah.
November. So
Run us through them.
Knockout City, you played that a few months ago.
Pretty good.
You enjoyed it? That's cool.
Yep. It's
PS5
getting a
and PS4.
PS5 upgrade as well, so
Yeah.
120 hertz, higher frame rate,
And
whatever.
the game's got
Fun game.
crossplay, right?
Yes.
That's
yes,
cool.
yes.
Just give that player base a little
Little
boost.
boost. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, very good.
First Class Trouble, PS5 and PS4. No idea what this is.
Never
A
heard of
social deduction party game. Cool.
Ooh, okay.
It's like a Cluedo, I guess.
Yeah, like a murder mystery dinner
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, PS4.
So this is kind of cool because I actually this week just finished Jason Schreier's latest book, Press Reset.
Oh my god!
And one of the later chapters is about Kingdoms of Amalur and the whole debacle there. And it kind of made me want to go back and play it again.
Yeah.
So getting this just like was timed very perfectly for me. So yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Game still is like, it is definitely an MMO in a single player body, but it still has like insanely good combat, like really, really fun combat. So yeah.
Nice. Then The Persistence, a PSVR game.
I played a little bit of this back. Oh, sorry, back in the day. It's pretty good. It's a bit scary. Yeah,
It's
it's a
pretty
good VR
good.
game.
Shut my pants. It's really good. And then The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Standard Edition for PSVR.
Apparently, that's
No.
very good.
Yeah, I know nothing about this, but I've also heard that this is a great VR game. So
Yeah,
if
I've
you got a
never
VR
played it.
headset, this is actually a pretty solid month for you.
Yeah, 3 PSVR games, which
yeah.
is pretty cool.
Because you also
Yeah.
get Until You Fall, which
I've
is
never heard
a
of that game.
fantasy and synthwave collide in this physically active PSVR sword fighting game. Grow stronger as you battle through an awesome neon environment and strike down magic infused monstrosities in this hack and slash roguelite.
I'm
It
down.
actually sounds really interesting. But do you think when they say grow stronger, they mean like literally because they say
Well,
it is
a
this
physical,
physically
like, VR
active
game, yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. And I think by the time you listen to this, it's too late, but last chance to download October's games, which were Hell Let Loose, PGA Tour, and
Yeah,
Mortal
because I think
Kombat
it's the
10.
first. They're leaving on Monday, November 1st.
Okay, so if you listen to this on Monday, you better go snag those quickly before they're gone.
I think I snagged Hell Let Loose because I'm kind of curious. I'm only
try it
curious about the game because John Michael keeps talking about it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
give that a bash. Let's fly through Xbox Games with Gold, which
Also
I don't
not
know.
bad.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes Games with Gold is like, what I've
it's
never heard of these
mostly
games.
garbage.
Yeah. But this month, Moving Out, which for all intents and
Yeah.
purposes is Overcooked, except instead of cooking in a kitchen, you and your friends are packing up a house and moving. Which
That's
looks
legitimately the only reason I'm excited about
Mm.
this. Is like it looks like a fun co-op
which looks real
nonsense game.
good.
Yeah.
Kingdom 2 Crowns, which my little knowledge on it is a game. It's like it's literally a game about running a kingdom with bits of combat and resource management, if I'm not mistaken. Do not quote me on that because I do not know.
I will quote you all the time on that, and
For a
every time
fact.
you're wrong, I will sue you.
I know Rocket Knight, which I think is just a 2D shoot 'em up, I think.
Could not.
And
No
then
idea.
Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes.
Pretty fun game. Like this was in the era where the Lego games were just hitting a great stride. So yeah, pretty great game.
That's your Games with Gold, but we're not done because every damn Tom, Dick, and Harry has free games, including Amazon.
Ooh.
So if you're on Amazon Prime, I don't know if you know this, but might be a little known fact that you also are eligible to grab a whole lot of free games every month. And this month is actually...
I feel like a lot of people don't know this, actually.
I think many people do not know that. So if you're watching, some good TV on Amazon Prime...
You're watching Matthew Figuera on twitch.tv/Harry
Just drop me your sub and then go grab these games.
Drop him your free Prime sub like I do every single month when I remember. So not every single month.
This is hilarious. Sorry if you missed it now, but I was looking up pet brushes earlier this week for the cats. Here it is. And I'm getting served
targeted ads.
Oh my god. But this month on Amazon Prime, you get, so just bear with me because a lot of these games I haven't heard. You get Rogue Heroes, Liberated, Puzzle Agent 2, Demon Hunter 2, New Chapter, a Baffle, which stands for Breaks Off or Losers.
I will play that game just because of that. That is amazing.
Secret Files, Sam Peters. Okay, you might be thinking, no, I'm not knocking these games, I just haven't heard of them. They could be the best games ever. Okay, but you're probably like, what are these games? Why are you making such
I was promised heavy
Why are you
hitters.
kicking up a fuss here? Because included with your Amazon Prime subscription, you get Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is a pretty damn good Tomb Raider.
I feel really bad because I bought that game like a month ago because I wanted to test it on computer hardware and I couldn't.
In the modern day Tomb Raider trilogy, I think that is the strongest one. It's real good.
Oh wait, sorry.
Yeah,
I was thinking of
Shadow. No, this is Rise.
This is Rise. This is the best one.
It's really good.
Very good. Yeah.
Dragon Age Inquisition, which I've never played, but a lot of people love the shit out of Dragon Age.
I liked it a lot. Yeah.
And then also, you think, damn, that's two great games. You also get Control Ultimate Edition, which if you've never played Control,
one of the best games I've played in the past 5 years.
Really good game. Yeah.
And it's the Ultimate Edition, so you get all the DLC with it.
Which I still haven't played.
Yeah, neither. I need to get back to it, especially now that they re-released Alan Wake and the DLC is meant to kind of connect these two universes. So Yeah. You've played Alan Wake at least,
I
have
played
you?
Alan Wake, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good game.
Yeah, I mean just getting Control Ultimate Edition alone is like a huge thing. And like a Twitch, I mean, I've got Twitch Prime because I subscribe to Amazon Prime because I watch TV on there. So it's like it's a very it's borderline like Game Pass. Like you're getting TV, you're getting a Twitch sub that you can support people with, and you're getting free
Yeah.
games for one
It's a
subscription.
lot
So,
of value, yeah.
and if you're in the States, you get Prime shipping, I think, as well. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Like a
yeah,
no-brainer.
pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Cool. That's all your free games for this month.
Yeah, free games that you need to subscribe to
Subscribed,
get
yeah.
free. My
But
fingers aren't in frame. Free.
other pieces of news, Uncharted's Amy
Yes, this
Hennig
was a
is
cool
making a
surprise.
Marvel game. Why did I think she was working on something else though?
So Amy Hennig has had a rough time.
She's
I'll
been
just say that much.
around writing on
Yeah,
lots
so
of different things.
she was one of the leads at Naughty Dog during the Uncharted era. She was, if I'm not mistaken, creative director on Uncharted 3 before Uncharted 4 before Neil Druckmann was brought in, and she left Naughty Dog. After that, she went to Visceral Games, who you might recall as the Dead Space people, and was working on a Star Wars game called Ragtag before Visceral Games was shut down.
Yep.
And then she went somewhere else. I can't remember.
I feel like there's a period of time there
was
that we've missing.
Yeah, that she definitely went somewhere else after Visceral Games. Let me see. She had shut down. Okay, so Visceral Games had shut down, and she moved to another studio to allow for significant change on the Star Wars game. She then left EA
My goodness.
after that. And then she joined Skydance Media, which is the company she's working at now, in 2019. So she is a writer. She's one of the writers on Forspoken.
Yeah,
coming out
that's what I'm
soon.
thinking of. Yeah, I know there was
Yeah,
another game she was working on.
which is crazy because she's kind of like teaming up again with Todd Stashwick and also working with Gary Whitta on Forspoken.
Yes.
So that's a powerful, powerful group there. But now Skydance Media has announced that they're working on a Marvel game. They haven't said which one, but yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I'm just gonna read through her like career here. She did, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, Jack 3. She was the game director on Jack 3. She was creative director and writer on Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. And she was a writer on Forspoken and Battlefield Hardline, I guess, when she was working at EA. So yeah, that's cool.
There you go. Sorry, I've got the same news here twice, I think. Hilarious. It's like, hey, in other news, former Uncharted. In other news, CD Projekt has. Oh, what did I click on there? CD Projekt has pushed all new Cyberpunk 2077 updates and DLC into next year. Remember Cyberpunk? Came out.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about earlier. It feels like Cyberpunk came out so long ago. It's not even a year old.
Has it? Yeah, it hasn't even been a year because it was in December, early December.
But yeah,
I mean, this makes sense to me because they delayed the next gen patches for Cyberpunk and The Witcher 3 into next year.
Yeah.
So but I kind of thought this was like with that,
Yeah. So next gen release still targeting Q1 2022. So if you have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, you've been holding out for, modern day, well, not modern day, a Cyberpunk for your system, you're gonna have to just wait a little bit longer.
The thing is, once the next gen patch comes out, it's gonna feel old because like it's still at its base a cross gen game, and when we're getting into 2022, I feel like cross gen games are gonna start like fading away. I mean, we still have Horizon Forbidden West that is cross gen. and the new God of War will be cross-gen. But I feel like for the most part, it's going to start changing from next year. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. And then just some final pieces of news. The Nintendo Switch subscription service. I don't know. Has the name changed? Is it called like
Nintendo Switch Online Expansion
expansion?
Pack,
That's
if I'm
it.
not mistaken. Yeah.
So if you didn't know, the existing Nintendo Online service, which includes a whole library, aside from cloud capabilities and online, playing, you also get NES and SNES games. That has been bumped up to include not only the upcoming Animal Crossing DLC, but Nintendo 64 games and Sega Genesis games. But sadly, it seems that the Nintendo 64 emulation is actual doo-doo water, according to reports. People complaining that the emulation is just awful. I mean, I skimmed through this article. If I'm not mistaken, the one comparison here says that the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the Switch looks worse than the emulated version on the Wii U, which is just interesting. So,
and there's some weird like choices there. Like, there's no controller remapping. So
how in the year? But you know what? Forget that. Some Nintendo games to this day do not allow controller remapping. I don't know why they're so sticky about it.
I mean, it's worse here because like the N64 controller was just bizarre. So it was like very different to what a Switch controller is now. So like you had like your C stick, which if you've never played a N64 game is to me quite similar to the little nub on the new 3DS. It's just like a sort of little analog controller that is also a button. And they just map that to the right stick. So like some games use that purely as just a button, not a directional thing. So now you need to click the right stick to, it's so like you cannot remap that. And also the N64 controllers like button layout is very different to the modern Switch one. So even though they've said, okay, well, this was A on the N64, so we'll make it A on the Switch, like it's not really the same because their positioning and the size of the buttons are very different. So it's it's normal for Nintendo in this avenue because I feel like Nintendo has just really never given a shit about like proper emulation and this sort of thing. So even when it was Nintendo Switch Online and you were getting the NES and SNES games, it just felt like they were just plopped on there without really much consideration. And this is just worse. And I think this feels worse because they're expecting people to pay 150% more for this. And the people that really care about this sort of stuff, like that really care about old games and how they are presented in a modern space, like they are the ones who have bought expensive hardware like a Mister or an Analog, or they're messing with FPGA emulation to get these things running as close as they did
on the
back
original.
then. So like there's no there's no market that hasn't kind of like breached this issue already, So for Nintendo to come out with an inferior product and ask people to pay a recurring subscription when people could just like find other ways to play these games in a better way. I don't know. Weird.
And then last piece of news this week. Resident Evil Village is set to receive free DLC.
I cannot believe that game came out this year.
Yeah, right. See, time. What is time? This game, and it's not even that long ago. I mean, it came out in May. It feels to me like a lifetime ago. Definitely not.
Oh, I just realized. Sorry, I just want to correct something. I was thinking of the GameCube controller. My bad.
The what?
The C button on the N64 one is actual like directional buttons.
I thought you were referring to Resident Evil. I was like, what?
No, my bad. I'm just looking at a controller, N64 controller. So it's almost, how on the Switch Joy-Cons they segmented the D-pad into 4. Yeah, so the C stick or whatever you want to call it is like that. So imagine that being on now mapped to the right stick.
Why? Why Nintendo?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, sorry, free DLC
Free
for Resident
DLC
Evil
for Resident
Village.
Evil for Village, which is quite cool. I
Do you
wouldn't
know what
mind.
sort of DLC it's gonna be, or
No, apparently it was just like it wasn't actually announced. Apparently it was buried in an annual integrated report. And there's just a tweet from Mario64 that just says, by popular demand, development has just started on additional DLC for Resident Evil Village. More info
cool?
later.
I mean, that game's great. So I really enjoyed it. I played a bunch of the Mercenaries mode as well, even when I was done, and I really, really, really like that game. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome.
more buff Chris Redfield, perhaps. Maybe a little tease of what's to come following that ending.
How they're gonna connect it to
Yeah.
yeah, how they're gonna
Future
connect it
Resident
to
Evils.
whatever the fuck Nine's gonna be, because boy, that ending really leaves it open to interpretation. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, I think that is all your important news for this week. A lot of free games and different services. As we said, free games. Mark Zuckerberg stuff.
Yeah,
And
Mark Zuckerberg, metaverse stuff. You know,
and
just a normal one in games.
and other bits and pieces.